Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how I cut and sew this particular dress you are looking on the screen right now, and I want you to pay close attention to the video in details. So the measurements I use for this particular dress is the length of 25, I mean the skirt length of 25, and the waistband of 32, and the hip of 42. So now back to work. The first thing I'm going to be cutting now is the flare, the pleating at the side of the skirt, the pleat. So I already cut two pieces that I just showed now. I cut the length of 9. Can you see that? So I'm going to be cutting this in 6 places. I already cut 2 pieces remaining, that make it 3 pieces, remaining another 3 pieces. What I do is that I use 3 pieces for each side. That is, I join 3 pieces together for one side, I join another 3 pieces together for the second side. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm cutting the piece, so that makes it 4. So I'm going to be cutting it in 6 pieces. So remaining 2 pieces to cut now. I already cut 4 pieces. Can you see that? Okay, so that makes it 6 pieces. So that is that about that. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is our body measurement. I already placed the fabric already, so I already measure. Our length is 25, like I said earlier in our diagram for the measurement. Our length is 25. Our hip is 42. Her hip is 42. I just want to cut out the body measurement before we go into the measurements in details. So I'm just cutting out the length measurement right now. So that is for the front, and now I want to cut the back of the skirt. Can you see that? I already put my zip allowance in cutting it out. Can you see that? I'm placing it together before I do my proper body measurements now. So I want to straighten that place. That place is not straight, so I want to straighten that place. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be cutting my waist measurement. Our waist is 32. 32 divided by 4 will give us 8, plus my sewing allowance, which is 2. I remove my band measurement to get a hip measurement is from our waistline is 8. That's why you see me measuring 8 in that place. And for our hip, I said 42 is our hip. That's why I have 11 here for our hip measurement with sewing allowance. So I'm shocking that out right now. Sorry, the scissors is not that good. I'm going to change it in the video very soon. So I'm going to cut out. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm cutting out the body measurement. I'm done with that. Yeah, I already changed the scissors. Yeah, thank you. So I want to cut out the zip side. That's what I'm doing right now. So I'm done with that. So I'm done with the body, the skirt body. Remain the band. the band. So since our waist is just trying to check which side to cut. So I want to cut out the band measurement now. Can you see that? So that is it. I already cut out my waist band measurements. So I'm done with cutting of the skirt right now. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is the body, the top. So the first thing I'm doing right now is I want to cut out the hand length, the hand. So our hand length is 10. So here I'm going to be cutting 11 and a half for the stitching, for the sewing allowance. And so that's what I cut there, 11 and a half. I cut out 11 and a half there. So I'm going to be cutting that in 2 places for the hand. That is the hand measurement, the one I'm going to be using for the pleats at the hand, for the hand rather. So I'm done with the hand. So the next thing I'm going to be cutting now is the body measurement for the top. The top. Yeah, so for the length of the top I want to use 23 plus sewing allowance. I make it 25. I had 2 inches for the sewing allowance because of the turning at the down part and my sewing allowance at the shoulder, so I had 2 inches to make it 25. So that's what I'm cutting out now. I'm cutting out the body measurements. So the first one I cut was the back measurement. Why this is the one I just want to cut now is the front measurement. I already had my my zip allowance to the back measurements. This so this is what I have here right now. So this is the body measurement of the dress. So we are going to do our normal measurements right now. Our shoulder is 15 and a half. This is the zip allowance. I had 1 inches for the zip allowance. Our shoulder is 15 and a half. 15 and a half divided by 2 will give us 7 and a half and quarter. 7 and a half and quarter, that's what I just took, plus my sewing allowance. So I used to add ½ inch, make it 16 and quarter. The same thing I measured there is what I'm going to measure, what I used to use for my armhole, for my armhole measurements. Whatever I use for the shoulder is the same thing I use for my armhole measurements. So I use 16 and quarter for the length of the armhole, and for the shoulder also 16 and quarter. That is what I'm doing there. Now I already remove my hand, my armhole measurements. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is our chest measurement. Our chest is 38. 38 divided by 2 will give us 9 plus 2 inch sewing allowance. I'm done with that. This is a half length measurement. Our half length is 15. So our waist is 32. 32 divided by 4 will give us 8 plus 2 inches sewing allowance. So that is what I'm doing right now. I had my 2 inches for my sewing allowance with the dart allowance and stuff like that. So for the down part, I always use 3 for my dart slants, for my down slants rather. Sorry for that. For my down slants. So that is what I'm doing right now. For the top down slants. So I already did that. So I will now do my joining. I will join my down to my waist to the chest measurements, and you see that. So that is what I have here. So now to the neckline. For the front neckline, I want to use 4 by 5. So for the breadth of the neckline, I use 4, and for the depth of the neckline, I use 5. Yes, that's 5. The same thing I measure here, I'm going to measure it there. So it's going to be 5 by 4 for the depth, for the neckline of the front bodice. Then for the back, I'm going to be using 4 for the depth line. For the I'll be using 4 for the depth of the neckline for the back. Now I use 5 for the front. So I'll just chuck it. That's going to be 4 by 4. The back is going to be 4 by 4, while the front is 4 by 5. So the next thing I want to do now is I want to take my dart, because I'm using princess dart for the top. Princess dart. So I use 4.5 for a princess dart. For a dart measurement, I use 4.5. Can you see that? So I already shocked my body measurement. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to cut out all the places I chalk. So first of all, I'm cutting out the neckline of the front. Yeah, so I'm done with that right now. So I'll cut out the neckline of the back also. Then the next thing I'm going to be doing now is my shoulder slants. That is 1 inch for my shoulder slants. So this is it, because that place is not straight, so I have to cut out and make it straight. Then it's my 1 inches for my shoulder slants. Yeah, so I'll cut out my armhole. Can you see that? So the next thing now I'm going to cut out can you see that? So this is what we have here right now. So remain to cut the darts. So I'm going to cut out the darts. I'll cut out the dart. Before that, I'll cut out my bike bodies for the zip allowance that I put earlier. So I want to cut out my darts now, my princess dart cuts. So I'm done cutting that. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be cutting my interfacing. So I already cut out my interfacing. I cut it exactly the same way I cut the body. So I'm done with that. So now the next thing I'm doing now is I'm ironing my skirt, my band for my skirt. That is what I'm ironing right now. So I'll iron that. I iron it with ST. So I'm done with that. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm already joining the pleats at the side of the skirt. So I'll first join the 3 piece together like I said when I was cutting it. So I already joined the piece together. Now I will fold only one side. That is what you see me doing right now. I'm folding one side of the fabric. I'll fold one side. I'll be using the other side for the pleats at the side of the skirt. So I'm folding one side right now. I'm going to fold all this long. I'll fold it all through. I'll fold it. So I'm done folding it. So the next thing I'm doing right now is I want to, for my zip allowance this is the back of the skirt. I already removed my zip allowance. Then I'm sewing it till all through till down. I'll sew it till down. I'll sew it till down. I'm just trying to show you everything in details. Actually, I stopped first thinking that I want to leave a slit at the back. Then I remember that no, this tie doesn't need any slits. That's why you see me putting it back. So that's why I put it back to sew it till down. I don't need any slits with this tie because the fabric is stretchy. So there's no need for any slits. So the next thing I'm doing right now, I already removed the back. I'm going to be putting my pleats on the front. You are going to be putting your slit on the front. I first did mistake and I put it at the back, but I lose it again and put it in the front. You are going to be putting your pleating in the front bodies of the skirts. Then you will be joining it with the back bodies. Do you get that? If there is anything you don't understand in this video, you can just comment in the comment section and I promise I'll reply you. If there's anything, maybe there is anywhere I don't explain very well, or there is anything you want to ask in the video, you can just ask me and I will answer you. So what I'm doing right now is I'm putting the pleat on the skirt. I'm putting it only in the front. So I'm done putting the pleat on both sides because of time. So this is I already put it on the front bodies. Then I place the back on the front and I'm using my pin to secure it together. I will use my pin to pin it till down. I'll pin it so that by the time I want to start sewing, it will make it easy for me. So I'm done pinning it. Then the next thing I'm doing right now is I'm already sewing my fabric. When you are sewing it, make sure that you check very well, so that to check whether the pleat down is not facing up, is laying very well. That is it. You see, I'm checking. I check. I check whether the pleat is aligned, whether the pleat is okay, is laying very well. So I'm going to sew it. I'm sewing the back and the front borders together. That is what you see me doing right now. So I'll sew it. The fabric is a little bit stretched. Is stretch material, so it's not that easy to sew like that. So I just have to be careful so that by the time you sew finish, it will come out very fine and neat. So I'm almost done with one side, but the same thing I did, the same thing you are going to be doing on one side is the same thing you will do on the second side. So I'm done with that. So the next thing I'll be doing now is, I already put stay on the band, so I'll be stitching just one side. I'll fold one side as shown below, as seen. Yeah, so I'll fold it all through. I'm going to fold it. Yes, you are going to fold it. So I'm done folding. So I will be putting it on the band of the skirt. Can you see that? So that is what you see me doing right now. I'll fix the band on the skirt. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm fixing it. You just have to be very careful when fixing it. Take your time. I put stay on this one, so you don't draw the down part. Don't draw it. If possible, you can pin it together before stitching. Okay, you understand, so that it will come out fine. You can pin it together, then you'll be removing the pin. Can you see that? So I'm done with that. So I'm going to be, then I'll fold it. You're going to fold the band and make sure that you place everything inside so that your work will be very neat. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'll stitch it through. Can you see that? So you place that one inside so that your work will be very neat. So I'm done putting that. The next thing I'm doing now is I'm putting my zip at the back of the skirt. So I'm putting my zip at the back of the skirt. So I'm done with my skirts. So the next thing now is the top. So what I'm doing right now is I want to fold the hand that I'm going to be putting my elastic. So I'm folding. You can fold 1 inch. You can fold half inch and quarter for your small elastic, because I'm going to put small elastic. I'm not putting big elastic, I'm going to be putting small elastic. So that is what I'll fold it through. I'm done with that, so I'm going to be putting my elastic. I'll show you when I'm done putting the elastic. The elastic I'm going to be putting 10. So this is the body measurement. You know it's princess that, so we are going to be joining our princess, putting our darts now. That's what I'm doing right now. I'll join it together. Yeah. So this is the back mesh, this is the back bodice. So I already joined the side. The same way you join this, you will join the other side too. The same way you will join the front bodice too. So the next thing I'm doing right now is I'm ironing it. You are going to open the darts. You will open it. The same way you join the body is the same way you are going to join your lining. Do you understand? You will join your lining exactly the same way you join the clothes. So you will open, and you will open your lining too. You will iron your lining, you will iron everything, you will open all the darts so that it will lay very well. So I'm done ironing everything. So as you can see, this is my fabric and my lining. So the next thing you are going to be doing right now is you are going to turn it from down. First thing, you see as I place my lining and my fabric together. Then I will join it. That's what you see me doing right now. That to that. That must align. Yes. So I'll join it. So I'm done joining the down part. So the next thing you are going to be doing now is we are going to be to the side. So you are going to fold a little bit of the fabric in. Okay, as shown in the video. Can you see that? I fold the fabric, not the lining. I fold the fabric a bit in. If you remember, I had 2 inches to the measurements. I make it 25. The person measurement is 23, but I make it 25 because of the folding down and my sewing allowance. So that's why I fold that down for a very neat job. I'm done with that. So the next thing now is I'm going to be stitching my neckline. So I'm stitching my neckline. Can you see that? So I'm going to notch just to place those edge. Yeah, can you see that? I'll just notch. Yes, I'm done. Then I'll turn the fabric. I'll turn the fabric just as seen. Can you see that? This is what we have. The next thing we are going to do now is we are going to iron our fabric. So we iron it. We iron the back, the front. Can you see that? So this is it. You make sure that you iron it very well. So I'm done ironing this. So this is what we have after ironing the fabric. This is what we have here. This is what we have here. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is we are going to join. I'm going to join the back bodice, the shoulder. Sorry, I will join the shoulder. Please, if you don't know how to join shoulder, please, I want you to pay very good attention to these details. Can you see that? In case you don't know how to join shoulder, this is how to join it. This is invisible shoulder joining. When you join it, they will not know how you join it. It will be very neat. They won't see how you join it. This is how to do that. Can you see that? So I'm joining the second shoulder. So I'm done joining the shoulder. So the next thing now is taking my measurements. Our chest is 38. 38 divided by 2 will give us 18. No, sorry. 38 divided by 2 will give us 19 rather. 19 times 2 will give us 38. So our waist measurement is 32. 32 divided by 2 will give us 16. Yeah, 16. That is what you see me doing. A body measurement. So I'll be sewing that now. I already closed the 1 inch I put for the sewing allowance at the back. I already closed it because I'm not putting zip at the back. I'm putting the zip at the side. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm putting the zip right now. So I'm putting my zip right now. Can you see that? So I'm almost done with the sewing. So I'll fix the second side of the zip. That's what I'm doing. So I'm done fixing my zip right now. The next thing I'm going to be doing now, like I said before, so I already fixed my my elastic in the hand. So this is what I have here. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be joining that with the with the sleeve, with the armhole rather. So that's what I want to do. I'll join it with the armhole. I'm going to be using that to, I'm going to be pleating this on the armhole, just as seen below. So this is what we have here. Can you see that? So this is our 2 pieces skirt and top. This is what we have here. I want to say a very big thank you for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channels, and don't forget to click on the notification button so that you can be updated whenever I posted a video. And also don't forget to like my videos, because the more you like my video, the more my videos will be given as an option for people to watch my video. So about the skirts, I'm going to be posting another video on this style, this particular skirt that I make, but that one is going to be, that one is a bit beautiful more than this. So I'll be posting the video very soon. Thanks for watching. God bless you. Bye.